Yes, your mind is illness and it's also fear. And it's possible that the one side of the organism that's susceptible to it, psychologists say it's men. It's possible that, I mean, it's quite the eggshell walk, right? It's a tippy toe. You have to, how do you handle it? Well, I say it's handled through, the woman is pretty darn savvy. She can be very forgiving. See, that the problem is that when the monies are directed into the part of the organism that isn't as like psychologically strong, uh, see the psychological strength also realizes, well, yeah, no, I'm weak in this area, and maybe I don't do good in this area, and maybe I shouldn't have anything to do with this part. I can do good at this part, and I could do good at this, but I can't do good at that. See, that's being more like sound on a mental level, and maybe that's precisely the part of the organism that is purely mental, you see. So what I'm trying to describe to you here, the same kind of day, it's just a day after the Neptune conjunct square, coming off of it. See, now it's important. I'm still communicating something that, see, there's complete deception happening across the board, but now we're going to be able to see it. Now you have to pay attention to your personal lives because this is how it's playing out, and you just, okay. I know you're probably not the same, but there's communicators. The reason why you're here is that you're listening for something that's like, okay, no, there it is. I thought about it like that. I thought that was happening, but now there's confirmation. And with other people just kind of who are more skilled in saying, no, look, back away. It's not such a personal matter. You see, people, oh God, this is so hard to explain, babes. I guess I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to put my address up here one more time. Seriously, if you guys are still handling cash, then consider that. See, the content that I'm going to keep refining, which I'm sure it's escaping a lot of people because I'm kind of still I'm scattered, but no, I am very, very. See, if I have less and less distraction in my life, which is what? Well, I said that it's people, but now what we're looking at, babes. See, if you have to, you need to put a value on yourself right now. Right now, our generation needs to reorientate themselves and as to how they will be raking in money. And so that they can start paying other services to do things around them that needs to continue to happen. Otherwise, things continue to break down. The problem is that money, the money maker, see, this is something I'm just going to blurt out, and it's like, but how do we get to this point without speaking for 9 hours to say no, and this is how we know, okay? But it's easy to know, really. Money, the whole system is so that it upholds an illusion of the mind, and it takes a lot of money to do that, right? It takes a lot of resources, and ultimately it can't be anything but a farce, because it is upholding something that can't exist in reality but wishes to. And it's making all kinds of versions of an existential reality. Really, it's just the condition of the human being, which God, this is hard to talk about. So the bottom line, mental cases are the ones that, okay, right now, babes, right now, the ones that are heading into retirement and that are retiring, full on fucking mental jobs. And see, there's now what they're basically geared to do, because now what are they? What kinds are they? Now, I'm not saying it's just limited to men. I can point at plenty of women who are there who, if they're not enlightened and they're just mental cases, they are fucking dangerous to the next generation coming up. That's it. Pure weaponry. Because why? Because of the way they operate. Many different ways that they'll unconsciously slap back what's trying to come up as just a natural process of healing. which this has been ongoing. And if you can imagine why diseases take more precedent and, like, say, is dominating more than healthy people, and healthy people are being called crazy, every lick of what they are phobic about and stuff is just like, no, it's a real worry. Your feelings aren't invalid. And when you ignore your feelings, you're most likely to get more diseased, right? Especially around the gaslighting society who just says, no, that doesn't exist. And have you gotten a job yet? You know, it's like they want you to go to money rather than figure out, basically, really, ultimately, how do we get along as people here? Are we creative enough that the stigma can just leave and we figure out, yes, how do. It's hard to talk about it now because it's like what it is like you expect an alien to come and save you when really you should raise your consciousness level, and then maybe one will appear and give you something worthwhile and you can actually treat it with respects of the use that it really can be to expand into something better rather than contract and make money with it and control. You see what I'm saying? Thanks for listening to this. Good God. I'm going to post this now and say, well, this is what we have coming in the future when you see the videos talking about this. I'm only doing I'm pointing at this my north face. I'm only talking about what needs to be put on the table way ahead of time. If we do not sort this out in 20 years, I don't want to be here in a society that's completely non-human, and that the most miserable here is the ones that know God. Still, it's like that anyway. But still, that is happening. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Not with not just staggering out this generation. Do not lose it. Do not miss this opportunity, babes. And it's not about your 9 to 5. It's not about that struggle. You know, if you're part of the organism that it comes easy, you know, we can only hope that you wake up and start supporting the people that it really does come easy towards. What I mean is that they're not psychologically bound down, and now they're not going to have to pay for the rest of. See, people that getting up into retirement and all that, now they're going to have to pay for a shrink to keep it all sound because you're just trying to wake up. What an insult! And you're missing the point of the people around you who are saying things, but you're just like, "Day, I can't hear it. Day." And you'd rather be diagnosed with something rather than just fucking wake up. That's what's happening when you're a kid. Because you start to get, no, actually, I want to, and they're like, no, sit down. You have ADD. You can give them a pill. And I'm like, how dare you, by the way? And then that's what's happening when you get older. Not only that, but it's designed to keep down the generation coming up, whether it's right 40, 50 years old here, now, like this. Of course, the programming is to just get them while they're a kid, you know. It could be kind of, you know, ultimately, narcissists are using children just like the feed. And when it doesn't work anymore, usually it's when those kids get a mind of their own and they're not going to keep being what they want them to be or that plug-in. They just discard them. And that's usually around about the age 4 or 3. And that's where you'll see the part of the organism that is the narcissist and, well, the succumbing to the mind, which is the man, easily says, nah, I don't need to be there. Easily. It's because they're just a binary process there, and they're trying to get in accordance to just an on-off signal that says I win or I didn't. And it's very, very, I don't even call it primitive. It's non-human. The mind is non-human when it's purely the mind. And now there is a faction right now that's saying, no, my mind has got to, and so when that starts failing, when it's really, your heart is waking up. Your mind is going to fail you when it has to. And then you're going to go to a fucking, oh, I'm sorry. What a fucking insult, right? But it's happening out there. And see, that's not well known. We have to pull these stories up, and it's like, God, I'm feeling like the only one in the fucking West that has a concern for it. Really, that knows it's profound. See, you have Eckhart Tolle, you have Maharaji, Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh, the living gurus of today and yesterday, And they're all going to tell you about this phenomena, that there are people in your society that are trying to help you beyond that system that says, and by the way, don't let them shove you back into it. And it's the most amazing opportunity to just go mad and drop it and say, fuck it, and fuck all the people around you. Stop trying to fit into it. They don't want you to change because why? It threatens their fucking hiding place, which is just a bunch of mental cases. So thick in the West that I'm here on the West Coast, and the Dalai Lama himself says the next one who is going to change the world and actually save it will be a Western woman.